They didn't have coupons, or apps, or cashback schemes. Just hands in the dirt and recipes passed down like scripture. In Amish kitchens, saving money ain't a tactic, it's a way of life. And the food? Simple, honest, stretchable, delicious. Today we're stepping into a world where every crumb matters and a single potato can feed a family. Welcome to Rustic Pantry, where old ways still whisper wisdom. Potato everything. The poor man's gold in Amish kitchens. They plant them by the dozens. Long rows, tilled by hand or horse. Russets, reds, golds, didn't matter much. Potatoes were gold to the Amish. Still are. They store them in root cellars, deep where it stays cool and dry. Come winter, when gardens sleep and snow's knee-deep, they dig into those cellars. Pull out a sack and make magic. Mashed, fried, boiled, baked. Potato cakes, hash, soup thickener, casserole filler. They stretch meals like a miracle. Cost? Pennies. A big sack lasts weeks. That's the thing. When you cook like the Amish, you learn to see potential. One potato ain't just a side dish. It's tomorrow's lunch. It's fried leftovers. It's a glue in a meatloaf. It's what fills you up when meat's running low. And they never waste it. Even the skins get used for broth or compost. Funny, isn't it? How something so cheap becomes sacred. But that's the way it is when food's tied to the soil beneath your boots. Home-canned applesauce, the sweet side of waste not living. Fall smells like apples in Amish country. Crisp ones, sour ones, windfall and wormy ones too. But none of them go to waste. They gather them by the crate. Core them, peel them, slice. Cook down with a little cinnamon, a splash of cider vinegar. Some sugar if needed, but not always. Then they pour it hot into jars, seal them up, line the pantry shelves like treasure. Applesauce shows up everywhere. Breakfast, dinner, dessert. It's spooned beside pork chops, topped on oatmeal, mixed into muffins. Kids eat it cold. Old folks warm it up, and it costs next to nothing. Especially when the apples are free, picked from a neighbor's forgotten orchard or shaken from your own backyard tree. That's the Amish way. Use what's around you, make it last, and find joy in the small things. Like a spoonful of applesauce on a cold morning, made from fruit that would have rotted on the ground if you hadn't noticed. Meat as a flavor, not a focus, stretching protein the Amish way. Most folks these days build a meal around meat. Big slabs, expensive cuts, but Amish folk, they think different. Meat ain't the center, it's the seasoning. A few scraps of bacon in a pot of beans. A cup of diced ham in a giant pan of scalloped potatoes. Sometimes, just the broth left from boiling a bone. That's it, and it works. It flavors the whole dish. Makes you feel full, satisfied, even when you barely see it on your plate. Save a ton of money too, because a single chicken feeds not one meal, but 3. Roast it once. Pick it clean for sandwiches. Boil the bones for soup. Nothing wasted. No part unused. That's how it's always been. Meat is precious, treated with care, not grabbed out of habit or drowned in sauce. And somehow, it tastes better that way, more meaningful, like every bite earned its place on the table. No fridge recipes, smart cooking for long-term savings. Not everyone had big, shiny fridges in Amish homes. Some still don't. They learned how to cook with that in mind. Dishes that last, that don't spoil in a few hours. Think chow chow relish, dried sausage, baked beans slow-cooked in crocks. Bread that stays good for days when wrapped in a towel. Cheese stored in wax or salt. Amish women knew how to make food last, even in July heat. Smart stuff, old tricks, stuff we forgot. Meals planned around what won't spoil, not what's trendy. There's something comforting in that. Knowing you can cook a big pot on Monday and still eat it on Thursday. Saves time, saves effort, and yeah, saves money. A lot of it. Because waste, it's expensive. And the Amish, they hate waste. They cook in ways that honor every crumb. Garden-grown gravy, rich flavor, no meat required. You ever had tomato gravy on biscuits? Not store-bought sauce, but real tomato gravy, simmered from late summer tomatoes. Amish kitchens serve it warm over cornbread or boiled potatoes. It's rich, tangy, filling. But here's the wild thing, no meat in it. None. Just fat, flour, tomatoes, onions, and a little sugar. Sometimes garlic. That's it. And it's one of the most comforting things you'll ever taste. Costs almost nothing, especially when the tomatoes come from your own vine or your neighbor's extras. Amish families make all kinds of gravies like this. Onion gravy, milk gravy, vinegar gravy. Each one cheap. Each one meant to stretch a starch into a meal. You'll never look at sauce the same way again once you've tasted food that came from soil, not shelf. Amish cornbread and buttermilk. A meal, not just a side. Cornbread ain't just a side in Amish homes. It's supper, made with cornmeal, lard, and eggs. Baked till the top's golden and crisp. Served with a glass of cold buttermilk or crumbled into soup. Sometimes it's the only thing on the table. And still, it fills. It comforts. It costs less than $1 to make a big pan. And it feeds a family. Can't beat that. And you don't need a cast iron skillet, though it helps. Just a hot oven, a bowl, maybe a hand mixer if you're lucky. What makes it special ain't the recipe. It's the feeling. The moment you cut into that steaming square and butter melts across it. Feels like you're part of something old. Something that don't change when the power goes out or the world gets loud. Cornbread makes you feel grounded. Sunday roasts and Monday leftovers. One meal becomes many. Sundays meant something. Still do in Amish homes. It's the day for a roast. Beef, chicken, maybe pork, cooked slow, served after church. Everyone gathers, eats, laughs. But what's genius? The leftovers. Monday brings roast hash or meat pies. Tuesday, soup made from the bones. Wednesday, sandwiches on homemade bread. The meat gets stretched thin, used with care, and nobody minds because it still tastes like Sunday. And the best part? That one roast, maybe $15, feeds 5 meals. Compare that to takeout, or fast food, or even modern meal kits. Amish cooking teaches you how to plan, how to think ahead, how to honor every bit of what you've got. Nothing's fast, but everything's right. Milk and egg nights, budget meals with tradition. Sometimes when the pantry ran low or the week got long, Amish families had what they called milk and egg night. Sound boring? It's not. Imagine fried egg sandwiches on fresh bread, or creamed eggs over toast, or rice pudding made with whole milk, cinnamon, and leftover rice. You get full, you feel good, and it costs barely anything. Milk and eggs, they raise themselves, from cows and hens out back. Free food, pretty much. And when used right, they create meals that taste like home. They're simple, honest, nourishing, the kind of meals that don't get remembered in cookbooks, but live forever in hearts. Rethinking leftovers, the Amish art of reinvention. Where we see scraps, Amish women see possibilities. Leftover potatoes, mashed into cakes and fried. Stale bread, turned into pudding. Dry cake, crumbled and layered with jam. Every bit used, every crumb saved. Amish kitchens don't have overflowing trash cans. They have scrap bowls for chickens, compost buckets, broth jars. It's not just about saving money. It's about respect for the time it took to grow the food, for the hands that made it, for the community that shared it. You start to see leftovers not as sad remains, but as ingredients, as second chances. And in a way, that changes how you look at life too. When you cook like this, something shifts inside you. You start out thinking it's just about saving money. And yeah, it does that. Big time. But somewhere along the way, something shifts. You stop rushing. Start noticing. The sound of bread rising. the smell of stew on a cold night, the way a garden tomato tastes so much louder than store ones. And suddenly, food ain't just food anymore. It's rhythm, memory, story. It slows you down in all the right ways. And your budget? Well, it breathes easier because you're not buying fast fixes. You're making real meals. And real meals feed more than your stomach. They feed your soul. If you felt something stir deep in your gut, maybe hunger, maybe memory, then you're in the right place. These aren't just meals. They're lessons from a quieter world where thrift is tradition. And food, well, it means something. So if you crave more stories from the soil, more wisdom from the backwoods and butter churns, hit that subscribe button, leave a little love in the comments, and keep your pantry full the Rustic Pantry way.